In this video, we're going to take a quick look at LockDesk Workflow inside Path. First, let's mention the product and pricing engines currently integrated inside Path, starting with Loan Scorecard. Loan Scorecard is a company owned by CALYX Software, and it powers the Path pricing engine that we call Path Pricer. Now, Path Pricer can handle both custom rates as well as investor rates, including wholesale investors and correspondent investors. We also have third-party product and pricing engines, MoreTech, and Optimal Blue. And Optimal Blue has two product and pricing engines available inside Path. They have their banking version, and then they also have Loan Sifter, which is geared more towards broker business with wholesale investor pricing. We also have three more product and pricing third-party vendors that are currently integrating to Path, and they'll be available and added to our vendor list within the next 2 to 3 months, so look for those to be added soon. Next, let's go into Path, go into a loan, and let's take a quick look at the three screens where users can run pricing, starting with the quote screen. Now, the quote screen is built for an LO to pre-qual a borrower, so we're talking about entering in some basic data and running pricing early in the process. The LO would do that by clicking this pricing button, and that would run the pricing engine, which you'll see in a second. But before I demonstrate that, let's finish talking about the three screens where users can run pricing. So the second screen is going to be product and pricing. Now, this is a screen where an LO has more of a complete application taken, and they want to run pricing on all the pricing parameters, like maybe ARM parameters, like rate, floor, cap, margin, buy down. So, for example, on this product and pricing screen, I'm going to scroll down and just quickly highlight we've got rate adjustments and floor rate and interest only and buy downs. All that's available to enter in that information and run your pricing on this screen. And you do that by clicking this pricing button and running the pricing engine. Now, the third screen where a user can run the pricing is going to be on the lock request screen, which I'll also wait and demonstrate when I show the lock workflow, which perfect segue. Let's move into that right now. So I'm a loan officer. I'm on the quote screen. I'm pre-qualing the borrower. I've taken some basic data, and now I want to run pricing. So I'm going to jump down to my programs and pricing section and just point out how all these data fields are currently blank. And I'm going to click on my pricing button. Now, you're going to stay in Path, and the window will open up here to run the pricing engine. Doesn't matter if it's Loan Scorecard or Optimal Blue or MoreTech. You're going to stay in Path. Now, I'm configured and set up with the Path pricing engine, Path Pricer. So that's what you're looking at right here. And I'm going to go ahead and select this Fannie DU 30-year fixed, click eligibility check. So that's now going to open up this eligibility check window where I can drill down. Let me add in a credit score, and I'm going to say, yes, this is a non-occupying borrower, get pricing. So now that's going to show me my eligible products. And I'm going to go ahead and hit view rate sheet. So you can take a look at this real quick. So here's your digital rate sheet. Here's how your front side pricing was calculated based on how you have this set up in the admin. You can hit select price. And now that's going to populate all that product and pricing data onto the screen here in Path. So you don't have to type any of that in. Now, let's say now you wanted to submit a lock request. So the way that you do that is you would jump over to your lock request screen that I had mentioned earlier. And all the data is going to populate over here, so you don't have to retype anything here. And the lock request screen is going to allow the LO to review the parameters of the lock, reprice if necessary, submit their lock request, submit a lock update, an extension, a cancellation, relock if necessary. So let me show you what the lock request would look like. We're going to go ahead and change our lock channel. We're going to say this is going to be our initial request type. And then we'll go down here and hit request lock. Now, before I do that, I'm just going to scroll down and show you. Here is that lock price that came in from the pricing engine. Here are your pricing parameters. So that's all captured, so you can see exactly how this loan was priced when we submitted the lock request. You've got your base rate, your adjustments, all right there. So now we're going to go ahead and hit request lock. Now, when we request the lock, we have the ability to write a note to the lock desk. So we could write a note like, maybe we want to provide the reason why we selected this price. So I'm going to write, this is the reason I chose this pricing. Just to give you an example of like where that's going to populate here in a second. So now that we've submitted the lock request, I can scroll down to the bottom of the lock request screen, and under the lock status history, I can see at this date and time, I have submitted that lock request. It's right there, and there's the note that I wrote, the adjusted rate, the lock price, all of that. So that way I've got that peace of mind that I have submitted the lock request. And at this time, the lock desk would get an email notification alerting them of this new lock request that's been sent their way. So let's put our lock desk hat on, and we'll toggle over to my lock desk role. So on the lock desk, I got an email alerting me a lock request has been sent. So I go into Path, and I go into this loan, Bobby Ewing, and I go to my lock confirmation screen. Now the lock confirmation screen is going to provide a clear summary of the lock request. It's going to allow the lock desk to accept or reject the lock request. The lock desk can reprice. This is going to capture the benchmark price, capture the anticipated sell price, and basically it's going to prepare the loan for the entire secondary market process. So let's take a look at confirming the lock. So as a lock desk, I can scroll down and see my anticipated buy price with the last price date, the group investor program product, those pricing parameters, the base rate, the adjustments. It's all right there. So I could now confirm the lock, or if I wanted to rerun pricing, I could do that as well. But let's confirm the lock. So we'll hit confirm lock. Now I can write a note back to the loan officer. So I'm going to write I approve. But another use case would be maybe I'm rejecting this lock request. Well, then right here I could write the reason why I'm rejecting it, and even give direction as to like, hey, I'm rejecting this because of this. Please request using this rate or this price. So just a nice channel of communication, but I'm going to go ahead and hit I approve as far as my note. And I need to put in approve under the confirmation there and hit confirm lock. All right, I approve and hit save. So now the loan officer would get an email notification alerting them that their lock request has been approved. And what we'll do now is scroll down to show the rest of the lock confirmation screen. So in addition to the lock confirmation data points, as far as the lock date, confirmed lock rate, if there was an extension period, the lock period, cancel date, float down option, cancel reason, lock type, if we're going to hedge, it's a hedge indicator, float down date. We've got the anticipated buy price we talked about earlier. But below that, we're going to have the benchmark price. So that's where we're going to capture that as far as the total loan amount, the benchmark rate, the term, the benchmark lock period, the last price date, group, investor, program, product, benchmark price. And then we have anticipated sell price. Now, if it's going to be the same as the benchmark pricing, we can just click this button and it would just copy all this data down here so we wouldn't have to retype that. But that will capture your anticipated sell price, your anticipated principal amount purchase, your commitment rate, commitment term, your commitment period, commitment type, last price date, group, investor, program, product, base price, adjustments, all right here on your lock confirmation, as well as that same lock status history that we saw on the request screen. We'll also have that here on the confirmation screen. Now, the last thing I wanted to show you from this lock desk perspective is the lock summary screen, which is going to allow the lock desk to see their validations. So we can set up validations, and we can even make these hard stops where a loan can't be locked unless these validations are satisfied. We also have a loan and lock discrepancy report. So if the lock desk went in and made some changes to the lock, when they would go to the summary screen, they'd be able to see if there were any changes they made that now have turned into discrepancies with the loan data set. And if they have, they could go down here and hit copy from lock to loan to quickly copy any changes they made in the lock data set over into the loan data set to quickly reconcile those discrepancies. And then we have our lock confirmed information as far as like the lock status details, the status, the lock period, initial lock date, expiration, days until lock expires, lock cancel date, cancel reason, float down date, all right there. And then we also have the lock send history. So the lock desk can see when the LO sent the lock request to them, and then when the lock desk went ahead and approved or rejected it and sent it back to the LO, all captured right here on the loan summary screen. Now, to wrap up this video, let's talk about a scenario where I'm a loan officer and I've submitted a lock request and it's been approved. But now I want to go in and make a change to the loan, and so I need to resubmit my lock request. So let's go back into this Bobby Ewing loan. Let's go into the quote screen, jump down to loan and program information, and let's change the loan amount to 405,000. All right. So now when we go into our lock request screen, we're going to get a pop-up window that's going to alert us, hey, a lock's already been placed. There's differences between the loan and the lock data that need to be resolved. So we can see a side-by-side comparison. This is what the lock data currently has saved, and this is what our loan data is reflecting. So we can see the discrepancies. Now we can hit this copy button to transfer the loan data into this lock data request screen automatically. So if I hit copy, it's going to update this lock request screen with the new data that I entered in the loan. And now I could go down here and hit my update lock request. And it's going to send that back to the lock desk, email them a notification that the loan has been re-requested. Or I mean, the lock has been re-requested. So nice little tool there. And then the last thing I wanted to mention before we wrap up this video is a second workflow, LockDesk workflow that we have available. So we've got some customers that they don't have a dedicated LockDesk role or secondary market person, and instead they would prefer to have their LO run their pricing, confirm their own lock, and manage their own lock without any approval needed, no LockDesk required, especially with our smaller lenders. And so the way we handle that, we actually handle that really easy. What we do is we turn off the lock request screen, we turn off the lock confirm screen, we turn off the lock desk role, and we would give the LO the lock verification screen. Now, the lock verification screen combines the lock request screen and the lock confirm screen and consolidates all those data points into one screen. So that way an LO can come to their lock verification screen, they can review the lock data, and then they can confirm the lock by clicking this button. So that way they can run the pricing, confirm the lock, and manage the lock themselves without the need for approval, without the need for a lock desk. So as I mentioned earlier, it works really well. We've got a lot of smaller lenders that really like that workflow. So we can go both ways. We can give you a lock desk role with that true traditional lock desk workflow, or we can remove the lock desk role and set your LO up with this lock verification screen. All right, well, this concludes this video. I certainly appreciate your time watching. Path is amazing. Your team will love it. Please reach out to me if you have questions. I'd love to hear from you. Here's my phone number. Here's my email. Again, please reach out to me with questions. And thanks for watching this video. I really appreciate your time.